Hi, David Young here. As a business coach, I am always looking at the business news, and I am really sad to see Patisserie Valerie is in administration now. Now, that's one of my favourite shops in the UK. It's a cake and tea coffee shop, but it's happened because, according to the news, there's been accounting irregularities that are being investigated. Now, this sort of thing has happened before, like Carillion, and there's a whole huge other number of companies you can mention. But I do wonder, why does this happen? Because when I first got into the sort of working business world, I assumed as a naive young 20-year-old that everyone would be very at the top of a company, very above reproach. They would never do anything dodgy. And yet, throughout my own working life, and now as a coach, I see more and more dodgy things happening. So I do wonder that, is there perhaps an issue with a sort of human psychology that obviously to get up to the top of a company, you need to be determined. You know, you're not going to become a CFO or CEO just by hoping someone's going to notice you. No. You've got to work hard. You've got to have a good strategy probably. And also you have to take some really hard, tough decisions. And to be quite ruthless, I imagine. If your company needs to downsize to stay profitability, you're going to have to choose to sack people. So you do need that personality trait of being, let's say, thick-skinned to other people's thoughts and feelings. But I wonder, in case of Patisserie Valerie, with all these accounting irregularities that happened, is there a personality there where you do need to get to the top, this rather thicker skin, but if you mix that with ego, where you believe you're untouchable because you're senior, no one can question you or challenge you, and if you're very self-assured, which you must obviously be to get that to the top, to be that determined, do you have this character flaw of thinking, I could get away with it? Now that's really interesting what I said there, because perhaps the ones who are at the top who recognise they have their character flaws are probably the ones who are able to keep their business going. But the ones with that character flaw, it seems to me that they prioritise their own short-term needs and gains versus the long-term health of the company, which implicitly means the job security for their employees. I've seen some dodgy things happening myself, and a couple of my clients have seen some really bad, dodgy behaviour by companies, by management. And in the end, the only saving grace is what comes around, what goes around comes around, in that companies eventually become more and more inefficient, or the manager gets spotted, and if the company is not willing to take action, at least their behaviour is noted and everyone doesn't want to work with that manager. But in this case, Patisserie Valerie, I really feel sad and disturbed, really, that a company that is listed on the stock market, has professional accountants looking through all their books, have ended up in this situation where the staff potentially don't have their jobs anymore if a buyer's not found. So firstly, I ask, what on earth was happening there? And is the news reports right that Patisserie Valerie had these accounting irregularities? Secondly, what were the auditors doing? I mean, there's one side if a shareholder loses money, and there's the other side about people losing their jobs and their livelihoods, and being able to support themselves and all their dependents, their children or elderly relatives or something. So my takeaway from this is we need to look more at the personalities management have and the personality traits, which all, I believe, have good sides and negative sides, and management be aware of how that negative side could impact the profitability and long-term stability of their business. And the other side is we really need to have a look how auditors are working, because clearly with all these business failings, which apparently just pop out of the blue, it's not good enough for the shareholders, the staff, and of course society as a whole. All right then, well, that's my thoughts on this sad situation for one of my favourite UK shops, Patisserie Valerie. Hope you're all having a good day. Take care for now.